I had tears because I'm like,
hurting.
I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna pass.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to the Boothe, episode 8. Man, we made it past 7.
We have made it.
We've done it. Matt is not here with us today, unfortunately, but with me as always, I got Justin Bofshever.
What is up, everybody? I remember to talk today.
I'll clap for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Since I'm the only one.
Matt is working right now, so that's why he's not here. But
yeah,
I'm always thrilled to be right here in the booth.
Yes, sir. He'll be back next episode. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I saw the post we had going the other day with the cold showers. I've been on the grind. I just wanted to put it back out there because the last couple of weeks I was off. But I've been on my cold showers every morning, and I'm feeling just absolutely amazing.
For me, I was back on the cold showers, and then I quickly stopped.
Oh, come on. I can't
know.
hate because I've been in the same predicament. But no, seriously, I would just tell you, get back in it.
It's honestly, we say it all the time. Like I feel the difference. And another
Every
thing I need to start doing is working out. I haven't worked out in probably 2 years.
Oh, you got me beat, but it's been probably 6-7 months now for me since I've had a real workout, maybe even pushing a year now. So
do you notice a difference from like the time when you...
Yeah, dude, seriously, like from my mental health, which hasn't been lacking, I don't think. I've been feeling great, but I definitely notice a difference. And like when I think back on that time when I was back in the gym going, just feeling amazing every day, just accomplished amazing. And I just felt on top of like the fucking world, you know? So
yeah.
I've been thinking about it all day today, and I didn't know if I was going to bring it up, but yeah, I'm definitely getting back in the gym. I was going to just say next podcast, like, hey, I've been back in the gym, but
no, I think today is the perfect time.
Getting back in the gym. And today might be the perfect time to start bringing the gym back up.
Exactly. All right. You know what? I really want to dive into this because I'm really, really excited for this guest. You secured the bag on this one. Thank you.
Yes.
We were supposed to have somebody, and then some things messed up, and then Buffy has done it again and got a banger of a guest.
So we've been waiting for it to get on. I've been waiting. I had on my sleeve. I've been waiting to get out here.
Seriously?
This is the perfect moment.
So, all right, here we go. Today's guest is a trainer, but not any ordinary trainer. First off, he's an extreme endurance athlete, a men's physique national qualifier, an ultra runner, and a world record holder. It is our honor to bring on PASCAL Jake Fluery.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't butcher your name, right?
No, perfect. That was perfect.
You got it perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much.
We are so happy to have you on, man, and quite the intro there again.
Seriously, I appreciate it.
We have a lot to dive into today. A lot. But first off, how you been?
Good. Yeah.
How's life been treating you through COVID, all this craziness going on?
Like everybody struggling a little bit with work, and now everything's been back pretty much to normal. So very happy with that. You just adapt, adapt and overcome.
I could imagine because personal training is your main job.
Full-time.
So.
It's been full-time for several years now, 5 years.
So how was like COVID? How was COVID? You say did the gym shut down for a while?
Yeah, for a couple of months. Yeah,
okay.
A couple of months. And when he came back, 3/4 of my clients were either gone, to New York or other places, and also we're not coming back.
A lot of people have been hesitant on all of that
absolutely.
stuff.
Totally understand.
What about recently?
Oh, perfect. No, everything's been really good. Yeah.
Better than before.
Actually, I signed up new clients, so I want to say yes, but I'm still missing a few of my older clients who are still, I don't want to say in fear, but they're.
They on their own time frame.
Yeah, exactly. And I respect that. So.
Did you find adapting wise, because you're definitely someone who adapts and dives into things. So when those gyms shut down, did you find yourself just going down different avenues of business, or were you just what can I do to keep pursuing my dream?
And thank God, I was very lucky to get back on track. I basically work at 50% when the gym came back, was open again.
Okay.
And I used to complain about it, be like, oh man, 50%, I'm missing a lot of money.
Yep.
And I look around, and we used to have 30 plus trainers, and now you're 5, 8, 10. And out of those, it's hey, don't complain, blah, blah has 3 clients. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. So I stopped complaining and
realize everything's like
everything was gonna be okay. And I'm like, you know what? My wife's working also. Everything's fine. We hear about people losing their house, cars, and so on and so on. And I'm like, I'm able to pay my bills. Yeah, I can't go on vacation right now, but guess what? I pay my bills. Everything is fine. I can survive. So I'm not gonna complain about it.
And you're blessed to be able to go to the gym and work out and do what you love still. So it's
did you find yourself working out more during?
Actually, a lot.
Really?
It's probably an escape. Like that's how it always was for me. It's like
I actually won a contest during that time. I don't know if you guys heard about the Murph, doing the Murph.
Nope.
It's an event based on the loss of Mark Murphy, is a Navy SEAL who died in 2005.
Oh, I remember when this was going on.
And you have to do. Actually, it's at the end of. It's always on. The end of May, Memorial Day weekend.
Okay,
and you run a mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and 1 mile run again. And
so that's warm-ups for you.
Yeah, a little bit. And I've done it for several years, and somehow it happened a couple of years ago. A guy contacted me. He's like, "Do you want to do the Murph, but all months?" And we call it the Ultra Murph.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. And, hundreds of people sign up, and I finished third. I'm like, well, that's not bad. I'm pretty happy about that.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, but let's do it next year. And that was the COVID year. It was, 2019. I'm sorry, 2020. And I won. Because all I did, I finished first.
Okay.
I finished with...
And it's worldwide or like in the country? Because it's virtual, right?
It's virtual, yeah. You just, send proof. It's... honor code as well. Anybody who wants to lie, they're going to lie. Who cares? It's on you if you lie. I don't care. I was showing videos and everything. I was, training 2 or 3 times a day, and I end up with crazy numbers, and which this year I won't do it because I'm like, oh, you can't beat that. And, I'm going to take that off for
step back.
So that was actually, it was a perfect timing for that. And I was, very
That's awesome.
That,
Well, we have... From the intro that they just heard, we have a lot to talk about. So let's take things one at a time. So let's talk about your childhood. So let's give them a little background. If you want to go ahead and a little background of yourself.
Yeah. So
who is Jake Pascal? Who is?
I was born in France, in the state of Normandy, small town. My whole family is there. Basically, nobody is left and right. It's just a small city and pretty quiet, easygoing kind of lifestyle.
Everyone kind of stays there typically. You stay your life. In that town.
I grew up with the idea that you're never gonna go anywhere. I mean, that's it.
That's like a lot of small towns. Travel for hockey. It's like you're in a small town. It's like I think most people stay there their whole life.
Yeah. The city was about 4 or 5 hours from Paris, and thinking of Paris, I was thinking of I'm going to China. It was big, it was insane, born in France and stayed there pretty much most of my life. And as you guys know now, when I turned 27, I came to the States.
Made a trip over this way.
From when you were a kid to 27, and you went to the States. What occurred during that time that brought you here, that brought you to 27, deciding
most
to go
people
to
aren't
America?
leaving that town. How do you decide one day I'm just like, I'm coming to America?
The first thing was I grew up, it was a pretty bad childhood from age 5 to 13.
Okay.
One of my parents was an alcoholic, and it was my mother.
Yeah.
And my father obviously tried to help me and take, they were separating. It was time for a divorce and everything.
Okay.
And my dad already met somebody else. And of course, he wanted me to live with him. But at the time, I guess the judge decided the child stay with the mother. And so I had to stay in that situation, which was a bad situation for a few years. So all I heard all that time was, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
You're going to stay a loser. And people talk about being average. I wish. It was average, a pile of crap, and me. I was way below average.
Sheesh.
I thought I was the biggest loser in the world.
So your mental state during that time must have been...
Yeah, no.
And people were just breaking you down. You didn't have anyone to look for to help. Because I feel like so many people... my parents divorced when I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old. And I don't have the same story, but it's like, there's a lot going through your head as the kid too, and it's like you don't know who to turn to or who to get help, and it feels like the whole world's coming down on you.
Yeah, it was bad.
So what, through that struggle and everyone's just kicking you, where do you find the mentality
I tried to escape at first. A few times I was trying to
run away.
Yeah, because things were bad.
Yeah,
and I was 9 years old. I was 11 p.m. I was going somewhere, trying to go somewhere, you know. Yeah. So I tried to escape with some friend's house, just to have food.
Yeah.
I mean, because even that was not an easy thing to get. So yeah. I used to, like, during the summer school, it was 7 a.m. I was out and I was coming back at like 8, 9 p.m. You know. Yeah. Try to avoid all the trouble. Yeah. 9 years old. At 9 years old, I used to go to the store, buy beer and cigarette for my mother.
And they didn't even no idea.
No idea. Like, it's for my, we remember, you're fine. Yeah. 9 years old. Yeah.
Wow. That's how small this town is. Like, you can't do that here.
No.
I don't think.
My God. I mean, all the things, or get bullied all the time, Like, I remember one time I got beat up with rocks, and it was at school. Yeah. And
because you say you were like struggling, so they were bullying you for what reason?
They didn't know my life,
just
but they
situation.
Guessed it because of, let's face it, it was 1 shower a week. I was wearing the same clothes all week.
Yeah.
And also, you pick on that kid who stinks and so on, So that was me. And I remember being beat up by the rocks, and I remember grabbing a rock and going to see one of my teachers, because it was near the school.
Yeah.
And I, crying and complaining, and I say, hey, here's that happened, and blah, blah, did that to me. And she put me in a corner and put a ruler on the ground and say, just, kneel down and stay right there and don't move. Like, I was the victim.
In trouble?
Yeah. I was in trouble for being the victim. And she put the rock, put it in a drawer, and that was it.
What the fuck?
That was basically several years of my life like that. Yeah.
So and that's like until you were what? Like you said, like
13?
13? 12,
when everything changed, I was 12, 13 years old. Okay. Yeah. Before that, and actually, I know my dad spent a lot of money with lawyers and trying to, because my mother, she passed away almost 10 years ago now.
Okay.
I don't like to say anything bad about my mother, because at the end of the day, it's my mother. But she was a good person for a long time. She was a great teacher. Yeah. She was my father used to say, "Oh, my wife is amazing." She was. He used to tell me, like, used to look at your mom, and she was like, the goddess,
Yeah.
And then, things happen, and after the lives change.
Everyone goes down their own roads and has their own.
But the funny part, funny, not but it was, even at 9 or 10, I realized that my dad never said a bad word about my mother. Like, I knew where the good side was, and I knew that my mom didn't want anything. Like, she loved me, but she had a weird way to show it, obviously. But my dad was always present, even if he was not there. I knew, like, he was thinking of me. I know he was trying to fight for me.
Yeah.
And what actually saved me, it's my own self. I had to call the cops many times, and they came over and over. And every time they came, they called my dad, and my uncle, whoever was close to me, to where I lived with my mother, came to pick me up for the night or the weekend. And, once, twice, 5 times. And they're like, okay, now let's go back to the
let's figure something
and let's figure something. And now you cannot live here anymore. Now you go live with your father. And it became the complete opposite. I went from really bad to being spoiled.
So you move in at 13. All this adversity has come to like a tunnel, like it's boiled all the way up, and now you finally, like, through everything, like, now your dad gets you out, and, like, not get you out, but, like, now you're living with your dad.
Yeah.
You go from absolutely rock bottom to, like, hey, let's spoil this kid a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. And obviously he never said it, but I know because he felt bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he killed him many times to know that I was there. When it was time to go back, I didn't want to go back, and I was crying in the car. I'm like, please don't send me back. And I'm sure the one thing he thought of was, like, if you're not back on time, she's going to give me hell. And we're, so yeah.
Jeez. And that's like, I can not exactly the same, like I said, but like when my parents separated, it's like when I'm with my dad, like it would change day by day. But like if I didn't want to go back to like my dad's house and I was hanging out with my mom, and my mom's like, no, like if we don't have you at dad's house, he's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
And it's just and you feel as the kid, or at least I did, like you victimize yourself a little bit.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
And I feel Absolutely. Like I grew up victimizing myself a lot all the time, and it, like finally one day I was like, I can't keep being the victim. Like if all these problems are happening, like maybe it's not everyone else's fault. Like maybe I need to start doing something.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
at first it was just all those things. I could not see it. I didn't see the exit. I was I was just buried under a ton of crap, and being young, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And slowly being saved by my dad and my stepmother, that I call my mom. I started to see the light a little bit and understand. Okay, now life can be a little different, and everything that I just face doesn't have to be like that. And it's actually not normal.
Your view changed on life and
so
reality.
Was it pretty much thanks to your dad that you kind of got out of that mindset?
100%.
So when did the mindset shift from woe's me to, all right, it's time for me to...
Actually, when he started to put me in sports. And he was not a sport guy at all, but he figured, hey, you need to do something, be active, be with other kids, having fun, you know.
Were you always like a fit kid? Like
no.
when you were getting bullied and stuff as a kid, were you not? Okay.
Yeah, not even close. I think I played basketball and it was horrible. I did nothing. I was just, the kid who... I didn't do anything bad. Like I was not... stealing. I mean, I was stealing food at the grocery store, which is funny because I never got caught. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I must have been caught, but they knew that something was not right.
Yeah.
Like one time I stole toys, which was nothing, but I didn't have them. So I'm like, well, I want them.
Yeah.
And I get out of the store and I have my jacket and it's like, puffy in front, and the guy was like, yeah, come with me for a second. I'm crying my balls out and he's like, open your jacket. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry, I won't do it again. He's like, hey, get out of here. And then I get home and I realize I have all the stuff that I stored in my pockets. I'm like,
you never even gave it back.
I forgot, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, so just struggle there.
Very different right there. And then, like we said, being sport and
so you moved in with your dad, and from your mom in Normandy. Is your dad still in the same town?
Yeah, an hour away.
Okay,
an hour away, so not far. And my dad being my dad, it was like, I don't care what the judge said. Yeah. Anytime you want to see your mom, we drive. You're gonna see your mom. It's your mom. And of course, I didn't ask for it, but he wanted to let me know that always, that we're never gonna create any trouble. You want to see her, you want to do this, you want to do that, absolutely, always.
Yeah.
So.
And you say you get into sports. I know, just from knowing you, so you get into boxing and.
Not yet. Actually, I was a weak kid, but I was a little.
Kind of feisty.
Yeah, a little feisty because I'm like,
attitude.
Now I'm getting tired of being beat up and everything and so on and so on. So I'm like, I want to do karate or whatever. Like, and I'm like, no, you're not going to hit on people. You're going to do something else. So it was Japanese martial arts, Aikido.
Okay.
So he was doing that. Actually, I think that's the only thing he ever done regarding sports. So I used to go with him. So it was like, 13 years old, but you go at the class with the adults at 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. twice a week. And it was, and that kind of opened my mind on a lot of things, and everything started to shift right there. Yeah. And after that, it was just a ride.
Was it a physical thing? Like, were you not obese or anything, but were you not in shape? And then when you started doing karate and everything,
it was, I was very skinny for sure. It was not so much about performance. It was more like being more confident in yourself,
confidence is
having,
definitely key.
A little more discipline. Even if, being sport, going from having nothing to being sport, being sport, I was starting to be a little prick, just for a second, and my dad would be like, everything.
Remember where you came from.
He was very he didn't care because he knew what. I mean, he doesn't know everything, but he knows. He knew what all the things that happened to me, the struggle. And my stepmom used to be like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you but in a mean way. We talk about it even still to this day. She's like, do you remember when I used to run after you and cry? I'm like, I deserved it, because it was a normal, I'm going to spank you because you earned that one. I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
So boxing wise, you start boxing for the French Navy. Is that?
Well, my stepmom, worked for the Navy for a long time, 30 plus years, 35 years. And in that town that I lived in, they actually had that's where they built a nuclear submarine. I think that was the only place in France where they did that. So it was a whole big thing. And I guess because I was starting to be pretty athletic. And it was time to move on, and I wanted to do a little boxing. And she's like, well, there's great coaches with the Navy. And she was seeing ahead. I didn't say that. She was like, well, I'm going to put you here and you're going to go to the Navy. And I was like, well, I don't know. And so that's how it started. And I was getting pretty good physically at the time. So I earned my place there for...
Were you confident going into it? I'm about to beat these people up?
There, no. But after a while, I was like, yeah, I belong there. And
that's where you gained your confidence, would you say?
Yeah.
Like, is that where this, like, not the start obviously happened earlier, but like, is that where it's like the transformation to this,
slowly,
like,
yes. And
this beast of a man that sits before us? Like, is that how this guy is created?
Yeah, it started, and some up and down. Like, sometimes, I was training with some guys who were way better than me. So I get my ass beat, and it was good training, but I'm like, oh man, I need to man up, and my mindset was still not, I was just going after it. But I was not, my never quit attitude, it was nothing like that yet.
Yeah.
I actually quit. And it was the first time ever, the only time in my life that I quit. And I still remember to this day, it was during a fight.
Really?
Yeah, we were supposed to fight pretty much all day. It was on a weekend, and to go to the final. If you're still winning, you stay. And I think if you did that, you had to fight like 3 or 4 times that day.
Holy shit!
Wow. And my parents came, and they never came. They didn't want to see that. They're like, no. I mean, my mom saw me on the couch with bruises everywhere, and not be able to move. She's like, I don't want to see that. And I don't remember exactly how the time or anything like that, which doesn't matter, but I was supposed to fight whoever, right? Mm-hmm. It was my first fight. And it was like, 10 a.m. first fight. And we were there like very early, like 7 a.m.
Yep.
And the referee, whoever organized the fights, came to see us, me and my coach, and like, change of plan. You're not fighting at 10, you're fighting in 15 minutes.
So
wow. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Now I'm panicking. I was like, what's going on? Okay.
Starting 15 minutes.
Yeah. Like, you got to go now. So I'm warming up, hitting the pads and quickly.
Stretch something.
I'm like, who the hell am I fighting?
Yeah.
And right there I quit.
Before they said the name?
Before when they said the name, it was over. I was fighting the champ.
Right away. Your first fight.
And without even knowing it, without even understanding what quitting means, I quit right there.
Mentally
right there.
Yeah.
Because I was a good fighter, and my coach was pissed because like you might lose, like we talk about it afterwards. Like of course you could have lose, but you were going to have a good fight, and I think you could have won.
Yeah.
Without too much problem.
Well, what was going through your head like during like?
Oh my God, I'm fighting the champ. I'm that kid who's get beat up for years.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I'm not a good. It's not for me.
The victim mindset almost 100%. Just went boom.
100%. Buried.
And you were
there.
You were the kid getting rocks thrown at him.
That was it.
And you were you'll never be shit. I don't know
what am I doing here.
Wait, so you weren't scared? So it wasn't like you were scared. It was more like, really scared. I just can't. I'm not going to win this. So why fight?
What am I doing here?
You didn't believe in yourself.
Yeah, not at all.
Just doubt. And once you start to like self-doubt,
it's over.
You're done.
Game over.
It's done.
You
can't. Yeah. You can. If you have any shot of ever accomplishing like your dreams, that your big goal. If you have one doubt in your mind,
it's over.
Just give up.
And I always tell people, when you start doing that, you already quit mentally. You don't even realize it. Don't even show up to the starting line. Don't even.
Yeah.
Why start Monday? You already quit.
Yeah.
No, start today.
Start right now.
You know what? If you're having a hard time, like for the people that are watching or listening, if you're having a hard time believing yourself, then you got to convince yourself right now. Like I remember like hearing stuff about Ali, like talking about how he is the king of boxing.
Even if you have to lie to yourself.
Exactly. I used to lie to yourself enough, it's real.
I've done that. I trick myself. I'd be like, I'm 100% right now. Yeah. Everything's going to be fine. And I'm broke down. It's been, whatever, how many hours that I've been doing whatever event. Yeah. And I'm dying and dealing with many injuries. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. I'm so lying to myself. But
believe it.
Yeah. And once you believe it, it's
gone. Well, because it's all mindset in the first place. Once you start self-doubting and thinking like, oh, I'm tired, like your mind is going to break down before your muscles or anything really
you can
goes.
Go so much further than you think.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an athlete. I don't care if you're a 300-pound guy who's slowly starting a new lifestyle and change a healthy way. I don't care who you are. I don't need to know you. You have way more
to give
in your tank than you think.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah.
Way more.
So during this time where you started boxing, how old were you?
I think I was about 16. I think from 15 to 19 I did that.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Oh, so from 15 to 19, to 19, you said
you boxed for the French Navy.
Yeah, for the Navy. Yeah. And I was not military.
You were the civilian because your family is still on base.
I was attached to that, so and it was one of the best sport camp, I guess you can call it, of France. So it was very
beautiful.
It was the knowledge over there, the reward, and I mean everybody was like, oh yeah, that's one of the best places to train. Not just boxing, but even
you're doing special forces training at the same time. Or are you doing special forces training or
that came after? My mom wanted, because I was not good in school. I mean,
you go to college?
No, I barely made it through high school. Barely. Okay. Yeah.
Me too.
Barely.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, go to school, kids. But if you don't go to school, you can still amount to a whole lot. Like everyone's path is seriously different.
Oh yeah. I mean, I lied to people to advance. I cheated.
You did whatever you could.
I did everything as lazy as possible.
Oh, you're talking about high school.
I'm talking about school. I'm talking about school.
Just to get through school.
But you know, it's funny because thinking of that, actually, at the time, of course, I had a few friends and life was better. It was the time I was with my dad and everything. Yeah. And one of my good friends, he was a little genius, you know, and he didn't study, he just understood, you know.
Just one of those, that made me so mad at
you know, it's one of the things where I become a crybaby and victim mentality. Again, like, oh my God, he's so lucky, blah, 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 and so on, so on, so on. But the thing about those people, most of those people, and I don't want to put everybody in the same basket, but right now, for the several years now, I'm so happy I don't have any talent. I'm so happy because I know what hard work is.
You had to earn
those people, a lot of them don't. And he was one of those cases. He did very good in high school and college. He's like, I'm going to become a pilot. And the school didn't go well. He's like, oh, I got to study now.
Yeah.
So he's studying, right? And he's like, dude, I didn't pass the exam. I have a D or whatever. I'm like, but what did you study? But I studied for 2 hours. I'm like, because this is in your eyes, 2 hours, this is what you think is right.
Yeah.
Other people are studying all night.
Yeah.
You think 2 hours because you've never not done it before. You think, hey,
everything's come easy to you.
I did so much of studying. You did nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, all those people that were working hard in all those levels, they come up quickly. That catches up to talent real quick.
There's a quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard,
that's
right?
Yeah.
So
exactly
it's like people get so caught up. I was one of those kids, like in hockey is what I relate everything to. So it's like I was always the small kid. I was always like told like, hey, you're too small. You're not gonna make it. You know, like you're not talented enough. You're not this. You're not that. But like I'll tell you what, the one thing I guaranteed, and from one of my old coaches, I spoke about it, Jeff Chicken, like just the only thing you can control is how hard you work. Like that's all you control. Yeah. So like I don't give a shit if I was the smallest kid or if you're telling me like, oh, you're shot this, that is like, all I'm going to tell you is I'm going to go in that corner and I'm going to get that fucking puck out of that corner or I'm going to die in that corner.
That's right.
So
and that's the mindset
that matters.
Those talented people don't understand.
No. I had to learn that.
I had a friend, I'm not going to name it, but who's like that. Very talented dude. And you read about the talent, or you can, the hard time and the mental tough time. I said, you read about it, you never experience it. Come into my world, you're gonna physically experience it, and it might not be fun, and you might not make it, but I promise you're gonna grow from it.
Yeah,
and now you're gonna be like, oh, I just passed that door. And now it's dark, and I passed that wall, and I'm like, I never dare before to go that far. Like, guess what? You passed it. There's many other fucking doors. I promise you that. It's gonna suck. Yeah, and then when they realize that, usually they walk away and it's done. You know?
Yeah. So during this time when you were, doing the boxing, do you have a goal in mind? Like, what did the future look like for you?
I just wanted to be a coach at the time, and I guess that's what we call it, the American dream. Here you can just from nothing and start something. In France, they don't work like that. You need to have, you wanted to be a coach, but you don't have a college degree.
Mm-hmm. Like, really?
Yeah.
To be just a boxing coach?
Yeah. Because, right away, it's pretty much going to college for, like science and strength and conditioning, boxing, whatever kind of deal. And I'm like, well, so what? I just go to school right now and I'm going to work my ass off. And they're like,
let me prove myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They're like, no, you don't even have the degree to come to the door. I'm like, well, what can I do? It's like, it's too late. You already passed that. You can't do it again.
Yeah.
Like, here I can pass my GD if I wanted to. Even at 46 years old, I can go back.
If you had
France,
to.
Not like that.
But you can just open up your own gym and start your own coaching. You don't need a fucking degree to do that.
Yeah. You can have a certification and you're good. But an experience with maybe, a ton of other coaches and fighters, and now you're like a well-known
You can have
guy.
so much more knowledge than any.
Oh my God.
And nothing against those people who go out and go to school and get a degree. Like, that's awesome. And like for a lot of things, like a lot of people, I think that's the avenue like they should take, and it's like the right avenue. But I guess we all find ourselves kind of in that same path where it's like
wasn't for
school
me.
Wasn't
it was. So I guess that was the dream at first, and to stay local again, to be like not going too far. And I went from that to be a waiter. So that in that time to change everything. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna be a waiter. I'm just gonna train and fight.
And how old are you? How old are you at this time?
I was 21, I think.
2021. Okay,
a couple years out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, Dad, Mom, I'm just gonna come back, save a little money, work. And I'm gonna stay with you so I can save the money and see what's up. And same thing, working in a restaurant. And one of my friends' mom walked into the restaurant. She's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And you need to go see Hugo. He's in Paris. I'm like, Paris? I'm like, no, yeah, just go see him, you know. So here's his number. You haven't talked to him in forever.
That's one of your friends?
Yeah, one of my close friends. Yeah. And so I called him. He's like, yeah, man, come for the weekend. So I take the train, come for the weekend. And basically in a matter of 2 weeks, I moved to Paris. So that was it. Yeah. I mean, I went to Paris in one day and I picked an apartment and the apartment was half the size of this.
And then you're like, I'm staying here.
That was it. Yeah. So
I mean, you're just being a waiter out there as well and still training.
I started to be a waiter again, a bartender, and now I'm like, okay, I'm in Paris. I'm pretty good physically, and now I can train with really good athletes.
Yeah.
And so I've done that. I did that, and for one, and one of the owner of one of the gym I was going to own a security company, and he was like, dude, you're
jacked.
Great. Yeah. I mean, no, not jacked. I was 150 pounds. Even when I came to the States,
really? So you were boxing lower weight class still.
Yeah.
That's my size.
Because people, I don't know, not everybody is watching.
Razor blade sharp as a fighter, but I was 150 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. When I came to the States, I think I was exactly.
Most boxers are really small. Like a lot of people don't realize, like they're like watching on TV, like these guys are crazy, they're big. And then you see them like, you're like, wait, no, they're actually not little, but like they're
not as big as you expect.
You think they're like 200 pounds, like shredded, but like no, they're 150.
Actually, I have a picture with McGregor that I took like a couple of years ago.
Really?
He's next to me. I'm thinking, you're small, dude.
Yeah. You're like,
but I'm like, but you can fight.
Yeah, like this. Like Jake Paul, we can get Jake Fluery versus Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but So and he's like, do you want to try security? Work in security. I'm like, doing what? He's like, well, you're gonna start at the bottom. So I was just doing
private, like
no, not even at the store. Stay in front of the door.
You're just
who are like
just look scary,
checking the bags and the purse, and that was it for 8 hours, and that's all I did. But I picked up things quickly, and after 8 months, maybe 9 months, I got hired by Virgin. The Richard Branson. Richard Branson.
Yep.
The billionaire. So he owned Virgin. The plane and all
the airlines.
But there was also the airlines, and they had all the stores where you have music and video and all that kind of stuff. And so I got hired by them. There was just one spot open, and they picked me.
Really?
Because I was doing my job well, and I was very fit. And so things started to change right there as well. And so I started to be a bodyguard for celebrities. And
so now you go from like the storefront to like you're like with some big name celebrities, or just like
all the big names you can think of.
How is that like?
It was fun. I was very professional. So because, and I won't name who, but there was some situation that we went through with some of those celebrities where you won't see that on a magazine, but. I save his ass.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Let's just.
And these are you don't have to mention names, but big names.
Big names. Yeah. I mean, I can name all the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt.
Shoot.
Of course.
Me and Brad go way back.
The Black Eyed Peas was actually the last people. Yeah, I was with Fergie for like 3 or 4 days.
Wow. So when they just came over to
Paris
every time
they came, depending on actually for that I was in the south of France.
Okay.
But so I did Bodyguard in Paris, in the south of France as well.
Okay.
But it was for the red carpet, stuff like that.
Oh,
so they were showing up.
So you like in front of them, like when I think Bodyguard, I think like
I was the guy who go left and right with them.
That's crazy.
We had a great team. I loved my team.
Yeah.
I miss that time, but I also miss the team. Like that's why I actually didn't do it here. Not that I would have found a team or whatever. It was a great team, and we knew each other very well. And there was like 4 or 5 guys, and each one of us, depending on who was coming, had 25 security guys under us. Because
holy shit,
when you have Beyonce showing up, you got 3,000 people at the door.
Of course.
Oh my God. I used to come the night before to see what was
scope the area,
to see the scope, and I'm like, people are sleeping in front of that. Tomorrow is gonna be hell. We better be careful.
So you've had, I can't even imagine like if there is any story, but like just some crazy events that have probably taken place in that scenario.
Yeah.
Scary?
Yeah.
Were you scared every day going to this? Like,
never.
Oh my gosh.
Never. I was so excited.
Ready to take a bullet?
Yeah.
Is it that
I was
intense?
very actually a little cocky maybe at the time, because I was like,
bounce off me.
I'm sharp. I'm very good. I'm sharp. I know what I'm doing. I was very, even if I'm a very passionate person and all that, but when I did that job, I was very calm. Like if there was blood everywhere, which happened,
wow,
I was very meticulous. Like here's the step that we're gonna take, 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, and people were panicking or whatever and stuff. Where I'm like, stop, calm
that's
down.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's all. That's why I always go to like the cold showers. It's like in that cold shower, it's like you want to panic and
you're like, it's not that bad, buddy. Just breathe for a sec and realize, oh yeah, it's not that bad. It's a little cold, but I can survive. Everything's gonna be fine, and it won't end. It's gonna end. It won't last forever.
Exactly. So, do you take cold showers? Have you ever looked into it?
Oh yeah.
I do way more than that.
I actually post-workout usually I enjoy that, a little bit. First thing in the morning,
just like for recovery purposes. And that point, that's a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah, when everything is painful, very bad. I have to. Actually, after the world record, my wife was like, hey, you should take the ice bath. I'm like, babe, who's going to put me in the bathtub and who's going to take me out? You need to call 225 pounds guy. I can't move.
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing it, but I can't do it.
Oh my God.
I had to do I went to do cryotherapy because I'm like, I could barely walk, but I'm like, at least I can stand and get the effect of the cold.
That's insane.
We're going to dive into that world record in a bit. So make sure you keep listening here, folks.
If I stay in a bathtub, I'm gonna stay all night. And I was like, I've done that before. Like I've done events where I lay down on a tile in a living room and I fall asleep right there. And I'm such in pain, and I wake up later. I'm like, oh, okay, and I can't move.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we gotta. So that's a little bit ahead, but you go from private security, and you're still in France at the time.
I'm in Paris at the time, and making more money, a better lifestyle, enjoying life, having fun, barely sleeping, just training.
Do you feel just like a double agent, like an agent, like 007?
Not at all. Not at all. I only have one.
That's the name.
I wish. I thought about it for a while. I was like, maybe I need to dive in it and be with one celebrity, because that was the thing. Like if Mariah Carey shows up, she doesn't show up alone. She shows up with a producer, the agent, and her own bodyguard. But the guy doesn't know the place. He doesn't speak French. He needs me. He needs us. So we were just the addition of things. The one time where I thought things were going to change and develop to a whole different level was where I bodyguarded U2.
Oh, okay.
And the bodyguard were there was like, just so you know, we love you and we want you to go on tour with us and to do everything.
Oh shoot.
And it didn't happen because at the time I didn't want to lose my wife. I'm like, I'm not gonna leave. I didn't want to do that. I don't know why. I don't want to say I regret it, but maybe it was not the right time. When I was younger, yes.
Yeah.
Like when you're single and everything, like I'm like, let's
go. It's a different lifestyle.
Because your job is to be at the door. I mean, do you know how many times I stand at the door of the hotel and not going inside for hours?
Yeah.
Because Rihanna doesn't want to get out of the room and we're late. We got to put her in the car, but we're,
and you're just standing there like, what the fuck?
Let's go.
And then sometime again, I'm not gonna say who, but you open the door. I'm like, oh, it's a party in here.
Yeah.
What is that white powder here?
Yeah.
We gotta go.
You're like, hush.
You remember we got to do some signing.
So how did you get to America then? So once you were in Paris,
in Paris doing all that, and I started to travel a little bit just for pleasure and fun, and also for training.
Yep.
And I went to Africa, a few places.
Oh, wow.
I want to see a little bit more of the world.
Yeah.
And the next step came
America.
Okay,
now you come here.
Yeah. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's live for a little bit, 2 or 3 years. We made some money. And let's go to different countries, Australia, this and that, America. And America was the first stop. And that was the only stop for me.
Yeah.
So you guys plan this whole elaborate, like, we're going to travel the world. We're going to take 5 years and just escape. And you guys made it to South Beach.
To the first, that was it.
You never leave here again.
Pretty much. I mean, he went home.
Yeah.
And, that's it. There were 3 months for the visa and you got to move, So we're like, we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to go to a French island and stuff like that. And then go to whatever, another place.
All over.
We figure, all over Asia, whatever it is that we wanted to do,
Yeah.
We got to figure something about find ourselves in the next 2 or 3 years by doing that. And in 3 months it was over.
So what makes you stay here? I
met a girl.
Oh man. How did that go? Wait, so you didn't know, so now you still don't know English.
Yeah, moving here.
Not a word.
Here, I mean, Portuguese and French. Sorry.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, a little Portuguese and French. That was it.
Yeah.
And it was just my friend who, his English was pretty okay.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so you're my lifeline.
Lifeline.
We're gonna stay together, and we were like brothers.
Yeah.
We grew up together, and
there's no Google Translate at this time.
No,
no phones.
Computer was going to the cyber cafe. That's what it was. To talk to the family.
Yeah.
You hear the like for 10 minutes before you log in.
Yeah.
So we decided to rent a place because, of course, stay at the hotel for 3 months, it would be pretty expensive. So let's just rent a place. And it was a small, complex, a few apartments, and everybody was very, very nice to each other. And they kind of knew everybody knew everybody. And one night they had a party because the guy who lived there for several years was leaving. So like, let's do a party. Let's invite the French guys, and that's
you met your
how did you say hi to her? How did you start talking to her?
I didn't say a word. She actually came to me and she started to talk to me, and all I did was smiling and be like, just moving my head and not say a word.
Did you understand what
not
you
a word?
Say?
No clue. And she went to see a couple of people. I didn't know that, of course, but she's like, I'm trying to talk to that guy. He's not saying a word. Is he okay? And they're like, yeah, he's okay. He's French. He doesn't speak English at all. And she's like, oh, got it. So it's funny because it's a foggy time of my life. Like my wife and I talk about it from sometimes. Like I don't remember. How did we do it? How did we do it? Like I can't remember. Like our first date was a Miami Heat game. Because she's smart. She was like, hey, you know what? It's gonna be noisy. He doesn't need to talk. We don't have to talk. We just watch.
Good experience.
Yeah, and that's what we did. And that was it.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then I can't even imagine planning a trip and then coming to a foreign country, not speaking the language, having you have whatever you brought, but you really don't have much, and then you fall in love. Now you're like, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm staying here, and you don't have. I can't imagine you have much to start from now. In a new country, you don't know anyone.
I didn't have anything.
How much money did you have in your name?
When you move here,
a few thousand, that was it. So I burned that.
It's not enough to start a life.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So you literally came here with a
not much.
Cash,
it was just
money.
The goal was to be able to have enough money for maybe 6 months to, I don't say a year, but let's say 6 months.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, maybe going back to a French island and work as a bartender or whatever. I didn't care about that. I'm I just want to enjoy life. So I'm going to be a bartender or be a waiter. It's going to be easy. I can find that everywhere, and I'm just going to do it and then make some money and then go somewhere else. So that's
but no, you stay here. You stuck down.
I realized she was for real. I realized she was for real. She made me understand that if I was going back to Paris, she would follow. So I'm like, oh wow, she's not scared. She doesn't even know where she's going. So I'm like, okay, so let's see where it's gonna go. And that was 17 years ago, and
now you're still here.
You're still there.
Yeah.
That's probably, an insane story for you.
Seriously,
you can make it into a love story if it wants to be too, because it's a crazy story there.
Yeah, seriously.
But now we get here. Now we're in the States. We know who PASCAL is, but now we get Jake and in the States, and you've been here for 17 years now, and you've gone from this whole crazy life to now being just an animal of a personal trainer, a fitness and bodybuilder, and you go through what I don't think many people know is these, I don't know the exact word, but the extreme endurance training or extreme endurance athlete.
Yep.
Can you define what that is and what you kind of compete for and compete as?
So even when I was a boxer in France, I always loved bodybuilding. I remember there was one store and you had one magazine, and that was it. Muscle and Fitness, something like that. And I'm like, look at those guys. I'm like, I could never be like this. So it was just a dream. And coming here, 150 pounds, 27 years old, I look around and we talk about obesity and everything, but outside of that, Americans are pretty built. Even if somebody has a tummy or whatever, he played football in college, he did some weight, you guys are way ahead of France for that.
Really?
Oh yeah. I did. Funny story. I thought protein was steroids.
Really?
I had no squat.
Protein powder.
And I remember when I learned that it was not, I think I was something 17, 18.
Yeah.
I saw it was a big gallon of protein powder, and I grabbed the spoon and I just ate it like that.
Oh my.
And my friend was looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm eating protein. It's going to grow. And it's like, no, dude, that's not how it works.
Doesn't work that way.
And the protein of today are awesome.
Yeah.
Back then, even with water, it was like plaster. It was
just gross.
it was
chalk.
So bad. You will choke on it.
So
just the powder, being that in my mouth, you can imagine. I'm like, oh man, I'm trying.
How do people eat this?
Yeah. I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to gain 2 pounds of muscle just like that. It doesn't work like that. So when I came here, I'm like, I see everybody who's, especially Miami Beach. I'm like, everybody's working out, in good shape. I'm like, and I was kind of done with boxing at the time. I felt like I did enough.
Yeah.
And it was kind of time to move on a little bit. I had a few injuries, not too bad, but it was just time to move on. I wanted to experience something else. So I started to, educate myself on nutrition and weightlifting and going to the gym. And I mean, I remember it was not Vitamin Shop, but it was something similar to that, just a supplement store.
Yeah.
And those guys must have thought that was special, or there was something wrong with me. I used to go there every day and grab a few things and just read. Yeah. And try to understand what that is. What's a pre-workout? What's a vitamin D? I have no idea. No clue.
That's how you did your school, like your
100%.
College,
I mean,
right?
The gym was here, and right before the gym was the store. And I'm like, I'm just going to stop there. I mean, I remember my body was not used to starting. Like, French people are pretty skinny. They don't eat much, or don't know much about nutrition. I mean, of course, many athletes in France know all about
it's
that.
It's a lot of...
it was a small percentage, Yeah.
But I feel like the diet's a lot of carbohydrates there. Didn't you guys eat, like, a lot of pastas? And
I mean, I always tell, like... some French people used to tell me, you're in America and people are overweight and they're not healthy. I'm like, hey, you might be right, but you're not healthy either.
Yeah.
What you do differently is you don't eat much, but you still eat crap.
Yeah.
You're not eating right, you just don't eat much.
Because did you switch your diet completely? Because I don't know if you still are, but I know like when I was training with you, and you definitely were the first one to open my mind to like the ketogenic diet and like the carnivore diet.
Mm-hmm. At the time, I did have no clue. No clue. I actually was eating everything inside because I'm like, I need to gain weight and try to gain muscle.
You're 150, like you want to bulk up.
It takes forever, Yeah. So,
and what was the reason to gain weight at that time? Just to gain weight?
Just to gain weight to fit in a little bit, I guess. I mean, I'm 5'8", so if I can't be taller, I can maybe be a little wider, a little bigger.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was different than boxing, and I'm like, I'm in an environment where people are, the gyms were very nice. I never saw that like that before. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I mean, I see the bodybuilder left and right, a few guys like that. So I'm like, it's pretty cool. Even the girls are, they're working out too. I'm like, in France, women would not lift weight. They would think that they would become dude if they lift weight. And I'm like, the mindset was different. So I'm like, let's take that direction. And it was just very basic at the time because I was more focused on my life. I'm like, I need to learn English. I need to have a job. I need to... basically have a life here. Everything, try to put everything in place, and it takes time, to do that. So it was my main focus at the time. Training was not, like the athlete was a little bit gone. I mean, yes, I was going to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, but with not real purpose as an athlete. Yeah. It was more like, let's build up some muscle and work out, and try to educate yourself. And later on in life, a few years later, I was getting a little more serious, and I was getting more educated as well. And they came up with men's physique. And I look at it, I'm like,
like the bodybuilding men's physique category.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm like, maybe I can do that.
You don't have to be the big giant.
I don't have to be 250 pounds muscle. I can't do that.
What is it? Just like, what is like,
it's like the healthier look.
Symmetry, like a good symmetry kind of guy. Like, you're still today, some of those guys look absolutely amazing.
But it's more, it's not like to downplay it at all, because I don't think it should be downplayed. But it's like a model kind of look more.
At first, that's exactly what it was. It was a surfer kind of look, and then it kind of picked up from there, and then you realize months and years after years, people are still doing that, but now they're putting on more muscle.
Yeah, it's the muscle mass is there.
Yeah. And
but you don't have to look like fucking like Ronnie Coleman or Jake Fluery. Like you're not this giant that's like can't wipe your own ass type of guy. Like you're still you're an athlete. It's like the athlete look.
Exactly. It's an overall pretty much athlete. Yeah. You look like somebody who could do a little bit of anything you want. So
I think it just looks like you're
functional.
Like what a... when I was playing hockey, like I wanted to look like a men's physique athlete, because they just look like you said, they can do size, like they're fucking invincible.
So they're just like shredded. They're not like
like you look at that guy,
big, but pretty still
big,
a size. Like I'm not.
He kind of looks like this.
I was never a big guy on stage. I was okay, but I was not the biggest guy still, and still to this day. But I'm like, I can do that. So I started to dive into this, and without knowing anything,
no knowledge, and no one to really teach you it.
No, nobody, and. I think I didn't want to compete yet, but I'm like, I'm going to diet like I'm competing. I'm going to go for it for a few months. And a guy approached me, he was a pro, an IFBB pro men's physique. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm cutting. He's like, what are you cutting? What's the point? I'm like, because I just want to. I want to see what I can do. He's like, are you going to compete? I'm like, compete? No, I'm not competing. He's like, yes, you are. There's a show in 6 weeks. You're going to be ready. You're going to compete.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just some guy at the gym?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. he's like, you're going to be fine. I said, I'm going to help you a little bit. And I'm going to push on a little bit.
Yeah.
I pretty much did everything myself, but he basically opened the door a little bit, the idea of things.
So it seems like everything up to this point for you is like other people saw a crazy amount of potential in you.
Yeah.
Dedication, passion, driven, on everything that I did.
There's key people in your life that saw, like, because while you're getting kicked around and like you're getting like victimized and you're getting just the brunt end of all this of life, it seems like there's been, if not just key people, there's been people passing by that have been able to like extend their hand and see like, hey, this guy, let's pull him up. He's worth a lot more.
Something we haven't talked about, like during the time when I was a boxer for the Navy, I was able to train only on Fridays with 5 guys. They were bouncers, and they didn't want anybody training with them.
Yeah,
but I was there. I was allowed to go there, and let me tell you, that training was
insane because they saw the potential.
Yeah, I was in a corner crying like a baby. No joke.
It was.
A couple of guys didn't want me there. Me to be there, and they're like, in their 30s, and I'm 18. I'm like, you want to be here? You're gonna understand what that means.
Yeah,
and they beat the shit out of me.
Oh my!
And I'm like, I'll see you next Friday.
Yeah, and there's no quit, which is, I think, probably your motto.
I mean, like I said, that happened one time in my life, and I grew from that, and actually it helped me a lot. And the no quit. I tell you the truth. People who quit, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And why?
Mm-hmm.
Just tighten your shoes a little tighter, dust off the shit off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Keep your head down. Keep moving forward.
Go.
Yeah.
Don't quit. It's gonna end.
Yeah.
Whatever you're facing is going to end. I don't care if it's a workout, if it's a 100-mile race, if it's an illness. We might lose. Yes, I might have cancer. I'm going to fight it. I might lose and die. I'm going to live like a lion. I'm going to fight.
Yeah.
I love it.
Definitely.
I'm not going to change that. We have one chance on this earth. And I'm not going to talk about religion or anything like that. I'm not a very religious person. And I'm only because we don't know. That's how I see things.
But we're here right now.
And I'm not even going to focus on what's after because we don't know.
Yeah.
So I see when I see, and maybe there's nothing and maybe there's something. I deal with that when I get there. If there is anything. Yeah. Right now, it's right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to waste any time.
So just living life because it sounds like you've been living life in the moment.
More and more and more the past 6 to 10 years. Yes. Yeah. I mean, people, actually I talked about it today with my wife. Some guys were telling my wife, like, why is he doing this all the time? I mean, people do one event like that once a year, once in a lifetime. It does that every month. Mm-hmm. Why? And then he was like, he's acting like he's going to die tomorrow. Not in a negative way, but
that's what brings you your
nothing sure.
Yeah, live like you're going to die tomorrow.
Yeah. I have those conversations with my wife sometimes, and not in a negative way whatsoever, but I remind her, I say, hey, don't worry about anything. If tomorrow I die, I'm happy.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Because nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing's guaranteed.
And it's like we were talking about with our last guest, my dad Harley, how like it's all small stuff. Like don't sweat it, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like anything, like if shit's going the wrong way, like anything, like there's a lot more to life than
you don't have a bad life. You have a bad day.
Yeah,
there's a big difference. People are always me.
Yeah,
and we do that too.
Yeah,
and we bitch. I mean, I bitch too. Like sometimes we complain, but don't do it too much. Because other people have it worse than you.
Exactly.
You're not the first. Oh, you don't understand. Like that's one thing that I love the most. If you want to get me going, oh man, you don't understand. Yes.
Yeah.
You're not special. Even for me, everybody can understand me. Like if I describe my life, people can understand me because life is pain, and everybody knows that. I don't care what kind of pain it is, if because you lost somebody, or because you got hurt, or because of a sport, or because
whatever it is.
You know what pain is.
Yeah.
You know. And even if you don't know, you will know. That's life.
Even if the situation is like when you're trying to relate and like someone's like, oh, you can't understand, like you don't know what I've been through. It's like, even if I can't relate to your situation, like you're saying, like I can relate to pain and failure. So like, don't victimize yourself and think you're the only one. Even if your situation no one's ever been before, like there's so many things through anyone's life that they can relate.
100%.
And you're not alone in that struggle. And
it's a beauty actually if you think about it, because you're like, if you think about it and stop for a second, I'm like, I'm actually not alone. I might not know the person, but I'm not alone.
Exactly. And when you're failing, like I emphasize like that, because like it's like Kobe Bryant. I was listening to Kobe Bryant, some old stuff of him talking
about a fighter,
and to talk about like
amazing mindset,
about failing, right and they mention how like you can never, like failure isn't a thing. It's not real, because if something happens where like something goes wrong and you fail, it's only a failure if you say like, now my life's over, like that's
if you quit.
Yeah, but if you fail on Monday, Tuesday's a new day.
Yeah.
You don't have to fail Tuesday, or you don't have to fail right at like. And the other thing is like failing gets you almost one step closer to that success.
Yep.
Like
you
the more you break down and break down, you
absolutely.
learn something new to.
Yeah, who was it? Thomas Edison, who did the light bulb. I'm dropped out of school, so I don't.
Yeah,
and he did it 1,000 times before he figured out how to get electricity with the light bulb or something like that.
And he's like, I didn't fail 1,000. I found a different way to not to do it.
Exactly, and you get you one step closer to like hitting that.
I always tell people,
goal.
failure is it's a good thing.
Yeah,
don't fear it. I mean, fail forward, not backward.
Yeah, exactly.
Fail forward. Have you learned something from it? Yes. Okay, good.
And don't go into everything thinking you're not going to fail, or you're not going to be like, if you can't do anything, it's going to be perfect.
Everything you've done and you didn't fail, I promise you, your goal was very small.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yep.
You're gonna have mild setbacks.
You're gonna fail more often than succeed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like we talk about motivation and discipline.
Yeah.
Like, motivation? Come on. If you count on just that, good fucking luck. You ain't gonna do anything, because 90% of the time you're not motivated.
Well, I think a lot of people get that confused because the people that are not motivated or what they think that is motivation that's pushing everybody, it's not that. I feel it's discipline.
It's 100%. It's all about that.
Yeah. And it's that's living it. It's not being motivated now. Like, oh, I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna be really into going to the gym right now.
Motivation is, if I give an example, it's, hey, we're going to watch Rocky.
Yeah.
And we're going to be excited a little bit, and now we're going to go for a run because we just watched Rocky.
Yeah.
Are you going to watch Rocky tomorrow morning when you rain at 4:30 and you got to go for a run again?
Probably not.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
But if you're driven and passionate because you have a reason behind it, I mean, I get excited actually about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's time where I train with my buddies, usually on Thursdays. We train at like 6 a.m. or something, like for like 2 or 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And I wake up at 3:30, right? And it's pouring like crazy. And what excites me, I can't go back to sleep. I get so excited because I'm like, 99% of the people would turn around and just stay under the cover. And me, I can't wait to get out of there because I'm like, nobody's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fight even more. And
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And let's get into these like the Gurok challenge and these competitions that because not everyone knows, like we've kind of like let everyone know who you are now, but like I want them to realize like what you're now going through. Like, who is this guy? Like
who's Jake?
Who's Jake? And I don't know how to explain it, because like I try to tell people like, oh yeah, it's just like these crazy, like you think of a marathon or you think of like these things. Like I really want you to like try to make it visual so people can really understand these. When we say you're doing these 100-mile runs, or you're breaking world records for squats and things like that, like what is actually going through that process? Like what is these 3-day, 2-day challenges where it's like military boot camp, it almost looks like?
So, as we talk about I turn into man physique, and I always need a challenge, and until I find a limit or something to switch, then I move on.
Yeah.
And I competed 7 times. I did well.
Yeah.
And I got 9 trophies for it. Wow. And I could tell that now my body I reached my limit physically, genetically. And it's not, a bad thing. I was like, okay, now I don't grow any more muscle. I look good. I'm happy with the prep that I did, how I trained. Everything was good. But that's it. This is me. And that's all it's going to be. So I'm like, you got time to move on. Time to move on. And I'm always a big fan of being uncomfortable. You have to go after something.
Become comfortable with the uncomfortable.
100%.
Yeah.
I've been like that for years. And I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do? And a buddy of mine who's in the Navy, Special Forces, was like, but why don't you go for a run? I'm like, I fucking hate running. Yeah. What are you talking about? He's like, exactly. Why don't you go for a run? Yeah. And I went for a 1 mile run. I was 205 pounds of muscle, and I thought I was going to die.
1 mile.
1 mile. And I'm like,
and this is when you're 7 competitions in, like, men's physique.
Men's physique. Like, all I did was lifting weights and everything.
Oh my gosh.
I went for a 1 mile run, and I thought I was going to die. Really. Yeah. My first 5K, I think the time was, it was so bad. Terrible. It was so bad, like 34 minutes. Holy fuck.
But you finished it.
Yeah, I don't know, like 4 bottles of water on me. I thought I was going to die. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Yeah. And now we're going to switch. And that's how everything started. So those Gurok events kind of came at the same time. I'm like, I need to find different challenges. And I'm like, okay, running. And I didn't know anything about ultra running. I didn't know people were running more than 26.2 miles. I thought running a marathon was
the most, like that's what I thought.
The most insane thing ever.
Yeah, so there is something you can run. There's bigger competitions than like a marathon.
Yeah.
So it's the ultra run, which is how many?
There's no limit.
So a marathon is how far?
None. A marathon is 26.2. So if you just run even 28 miles,
it's an ultra.
You're ultra runner. Yeah.
But you went from running 1 mile and thinking you were going to die to running. You skipped the marathon, right?
Actually, proud to say that I never did and never will
do a marathon.
Yeah. I went from running countless 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathon, a dozen of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go to the next step. And I went through ultra running. And I remember the first one. It was actually, it was funny. It was a 50K, so it's about 31 miles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I look at the result of the year, the past year, and I'm like, I see all the numbers. I'm like, those guys not running. It's not that their numbers are not very good. I'm like, I can't
beat that.
I can't beat that. Or be as good at that. And then I showed up, and I understood why those numbers were like that.
Did you take off like right off the start? Just like
it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So it's called 8 hours of hell. You run 8 hours you have to do as many miles as you can in 8 hours. It's in the middle of the summer in the Everglades.
My God.
You can't breathe. It's
105 degrees, humidity is like
so
up the ass.
Yeah, I mean, you can't breathe.
You're sweating before you even step out of the car.
Oh,
seriously.
For those who don't live in Florida.
I actually pretty much weigh myself right before and right after.
Okay.
And I lost, I think, 9 or 10 pounds in 8
Wow.
hours. Yeah. Actually, funny intro to that race. Every time you show up for a 5K, 10K, half marathon, or even a marathon, you show up with your ID and you give it to somebody and they give you your numbers because, there's 4,000 people behind you, right?
Yeah.
I show up to that race and I'm like, I go to the booth and there's nobody around. I mean, nobody around. There are like 8 people.
Yeah.
And I look at the woman, I'm like, give her my ID. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm here to pick up my number and, you need my name. She's like, yeah. And she's laughing a little bit. Not to make fun, but she's just kind of
surprised.
And she elbowed her friend next to her. She's like, oh, he's so sweet. He gave me his ID. I'm like, why are you saying that? What do you mean? Like, he's like, sweetie, nobody signed up for that shit. There's 34 people. I know 33 people. I know exactly who you are. Here's your number. I'm like, oh, it's going to be...
Because you're volunteering for literally hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was.
Oh my God.
So what goes into these competitions? You're running, you're working out. I know you guys wearing vests.
Oh, well, that it was ultra running. So it was just running.
Okay.
And the only vest I'm wearing at that time is just my water.
Yeah.
But it was a 3-point-something mile loop. And that's when I learned why the numbers of everybody was so bad.
Yeah.
The times. Half of that loop is full water.
You're running through just mud water.
God.
And the Everglades water.
So wait, it's not like an actual track or anything or cement. It's like you're running on dirt.
You're in a jungle. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And half of that is water. You have water mid-chin, ankle to mid-chin.
Fuck.
Here's a kind of water moccasin right here. Let's
Snakes,
go.
There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and you see
You're
nobody.
in the Everglades.
You're in the Everglades. And you have 34 people. So you start together, but after an hour, you're fucking alone.
Yeah.
You're alone.
Yeah.
No phone, no...
I had my phone.
Okay.
But there's actually, you're right, there's no map. No, there's no map.
Yeah.
No, they tell you like, hey, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. You're like, what? What did you say?
You go left at that tree, don't go to that tree. That tree, you're going to die.
We put a color ribbon right there and you're good to go. And I remember the guy was like, yeah, remember, to be careful where you step with, water moccasin and rattlesnake. I'm like, what did you just say? Did you talk about rattlesnake? I'm like, oh shit.
And now you're running in shoes because you don't want to get bit, but your shoes and socks are soaking wet because you're running in water.
Exactly. And I in a car I have like 2 pair of shoes, 3 pair of socks. I didn't change anything because there was no point. Because I was gonna be wet.
You're gonna get wet again,
Yeah. So 8 hours like that, 8 hours later.
So you go from 1 mile running, think I'm going to die, and you're like, all right, I'll do a couple of these like lightweight runs, and you're like, all right, fuck it. Let's run more than a marathon.
Yeah.
But no, let's do it in the Everglades with snakes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but I thought, I'm like, I got signed up for that race. I'm just going to show up. And that was it. So 8 hours later, I'm beat.
And what's going through your head through this run? Like, are you like, should I stop? Or are you just like, I'm going to keep, I'm going to go,
where you're like, I got to stop. I need a break.
No, every time you pass by your car, so you can grab something if you need to. Okay. And there are little stations, so if you need something, and if you're hurt or something happened. But I go through all the emotions, like roller coaster emotion. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And
why did I do this?
Like, why did I do this? I'm like, this is not for me.
Run.
And then my never quit mindset kicks in, and I'm like, You think you're gonna win? I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I did when the race was over, I went to see the director and say thank you for the race. He's like, are you thanking me for this? Because nobody ever thanked me for that. I'm like, yeah, thank you. He's like, why? You beat me.
Yeah.
And you're never going to beat me again. You're going to see me again.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was like, I didn't like that. You beat me well.
And is that what pushed you to get into all these other challenges, like the David Goggins and the Guruk and all these other like crazy events that have the working out and some cool stories I remember you telling me where like it's treated like military, like, and they're telling you stories.
Yes, those Guruk challenge are, I mean, everybody knows about Tough Mudder and Spartan. So imagine that harder.
And the Spartan challenges are like the ones you see on TV and stuff where they're doing like these cool events with teams and they're pulling themselves off ropes and things like that.
Right, yeah.
But
so it's a little bit like that.
Not the reality TV version.
No, not so much. It's you walking into the unknown, and that's the fun part. You know you're going to start at 9 p.m. And you guess you're going to finish around 10 noon the next day. You have no idea.
So this is a 15-hour event that you're signing up for.
Yeah, like 12, 14, 18, 24, 48 hours.
People are saying, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour. Yeah. I got time to only do 30 minutes of a workout.
And they push you to, I mean, they make you forget about being uncomfortable. They're going to see the spot where you're like, that's it, they're done.
He's dying.
So now we're going to put all the load on them right there. So, I mean, for example, I did one last January with some of my buddies. And I did 16 of those. So I've had an experience.
16? Oh my God.
Yeah.
16 of these 48 or 24 or 12-hour challenges.
Yeah. They have different names. So sometimes you have 2 in a row. Yeah. It's funny. One event I did in Tampa and Dan Bailey, who was one of the top 5, top 10 CrossFitter in the world, showed up. And it was not televised, but it was the cameraman was there. They
had it on Facebook, right?
Yeah, they wanted to do a big deal out of it because they wanted to have Guruk, the rucksack that we have at the CrossFit game for one of their challenges.
Okay.
So they're like, let's send somebody to do one of those events.
The best CrossFit competitor.
So he did the 12-hour.
Yeah.
I did the 18, and
he
did very good.
Yeah.
He's a great. Come on. Yeah. He's a great athlete.
Any person who's going out there willingly is.
And those 12 hours was a beatdown. It was insane. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, I have the photo and everything. We're done. And he's next to me. He's next to me. And the cadre, so the guys who organize all the things are usually special forces, Navy SEAL, ex-Ranger, all that kind of stuff. And they basically create endurance event based on what they learn from, I don't say the boot camp because boot camp, I can do that in my sleep. It's not
This was way more than boot camp.
Stuff. Yeah. And more like Navy SEALs buzz training or selection special forces. And he's like, okay, guys, congrats. And they give you a patch. You get beat up for 12 hours and you get a patch. Yeah. Like, it's funny because all those 5Ks, 10Ks, you get huge medal.
And a sticker on the corner.
I have a drawer in my house, in my bedroom where I can't even open it. It's so heavy.
Because it has so many medals.
Because all those medals. Yeah. But those medals mean nothing to me.
Yeah. So when you're doing this stuff, like what do you love about it? Like when that first time you did that first event, like what went through your mind? I want to keep doing this over and over.
Like what it,
because that sounds like it's like, wow, you're putting yourself through the ringer.
Yeah, like what's your why? Like what continues?
The growth.
Yeah.
You learn so much about yourself, then you're gonna want that. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
I want to see that part of me again, and I understand. Then to see that part of me again, I got to go through hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not gonna come out just like that. I have to go in places where it's no fun. The struggle is real.
It's like what we were talking about, like successes come from those failures, those setbacks. Like that's where you learn everything. So it's like you put yourself in that position to break yourself down because like you're going to get so much more out of it. You're going to go through this hell. It's going to pass.
You see yourself through a different angle.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, please don't quit in anything that you do. I don't care if you want to play the piano. I don't care what it is you want to do. Please don't quit.
Nobody cares. Don't quit. Like,
nobody cares.
Got it right on this shirt there.
Yeah. Put your excuses away. Nobody cares. Work harder.
Yeah.
Period.
It's that change that victim mindset. It's like, you put yourself in that position like to be out there. So like you can't sit there and be like, what the fuck? It's like you're there.
You did it yourself. You signed up for it. Why am I going to complain about it? I mean, yes, you complain a little bit because you're like, oh shit, I didn't expect that. What the fuck am I doing? And they always, trick you, especially those Guruk events. Like the last one I did in January, I think we fell during an evolution for like 3 minutes. We were 3 minutes late or something like that.
Yeah.
He said, well, now you got to pay. And we're like, okay, fuck it, whatever.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're going to do 800 burpees.
Wow.
800?
Yeah, it was a 55-pound rucksack.
Wow.
Welcome to hell.
When I'm a kid, when I'm playing,
And that's just the start.
You don't know what's coming next.
That's the 3 minute late
over.
punishment.
After that, you got 120-pound sandbags on your back for 14 miles.
Holy fuck.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
But quit. Actually, what he did for that event, I thought was pretty cool. Usually you get that patch at the end, right?
Yeah.
You succeed, you pass, it's all good. For that one, he gave us the patches like 4 hours in. He said, if you quit, you give me the patch back.
Oh, I like that.
You got it in your possession.
Yeah.
No one's
Like,
taking that fucking
I
patch
got a
from
smirk in my face. I'm like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
This is mine.
They're going to bury me with this patch
mine.
on.
Thank you. Thank you for giving it to me. It's already mine. It's already past the
That's
event.
awesome.
Yeah.
But it is already yours. He didn't have to give it to you. Like, that was your challenge. You walked in there knowing, like, I'm not fucking quitting in this challenge.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
That's these stories that I feel like we can go on for days and days diving into there. But what gets you going? Like, obviously, like you're constantly stepping yourself up and up. So now you've gone from like this little kid getting bullied to like becoming a boxer for the Navy. Then you step up and you become like a Secret Service kind of like badass like guy. And then
Not quite, but
you come the bodybuilder. And then you find your way here, like now going through all these girl challenges and just like you're constantly proving yourself like what can't you do? And now, I mean, breaking world records, like I feel like that's something every kid, every person has ever dreamed. Like I want to hold a world record.
I want to hold a world record.
You know, I never thought about it. You know, it came up so stupidly almost. You know, it's actually we talk about the ultra Murph. You know? So doing the Murph and doing the ultra Murph, and when I won that event, of course you do the manage and everything. So I think in 1 month I ran 105 miles. Jeez. And I did 3,000 pull-ups, 40,000 push-ups, and 26,000 squats.
That's crazy.
Everything with the vest.
Wow.
And you know, I was beat up and everything, but I'm like,
I'm still
pull-ups
here.
were tough, but I'm like, I'm pretty good with the push-ups and the squats.
The squats, yeah.
I'm doing pretty okay. And because of 8 hours of hell, that race, and I don't know why, I'm like,
I could break a world record.
Let me see what's been done. You know, just out of curiosity. Like I had no desire.
Like, I've done a lot of shit.
I'm like just some records. Out of curiosity, and I realized that nobody really done stuff like that. Yeah, it was more like a short period of time, like in 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and they do it with 100 pounds, and they're, I mean, amazing. You know? And there was that one guy. He did a 24-hour squats.
Okay.
With no vest, and I think he did a little less, under 16,000, 15,000 something.
Wow.
Which
just plain body weight squat.
And that's 24 hours, you said?
He did it in 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you hold...
And now thinking about it, I'm like, I should have gone after that guy. I would have crushed him.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So tell us about yours.
Right now, for the viewers, you hold, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
So you hold the world record for the most consecutive squats done in a period of 8 hours, and that you were wearing a 25-pound weighted vest at the time also.
Yeah. 9,105 squats.
Yeah, 9,105 squats.
Yeah.
9,000.
That's crazy.
105 squats with a weighted vest on.
Yeah.
In 8 hours. So I think we spoke earlier and you broke it down a little for me, but it was 19 of those squats every 60 seconds on that minute.
On a minute, every minute. It came up to almost that. Yeah. My goal was to do between 17 and 22, and based on the hour, I was going to slow down a little bit and push up a little bit more based on my health and injuries and what was going on, because a lot of things happen in 8 hours. So try to do the breakdown. And because of my mindset, and thank you for, I mean, I had a great crew. You know, friends.
Is someone feeding you? Like,
I didn't eat. I guess I can say it right here. It's fine. I didn't want to shit my pants.
Yeah.
Because doing squats.
Well, that was actually going to be my next question. How did you use the restroom?
I didn't.
Okay.
Well, it's 8 hours. You said, right?
Yeah. I lost 6.7 pounds of water that day.
Wow.
So what I thought was going to happen is at hour 4, I was going to be able to just pee quickly and right there, you know, and my wife would order the towel and whatever and just pee and go back at it.
Yeah.
I was losing so much water.
You didn't have
sweating.
to pee.
I didn't
have to pee.
No, I actually had rhabdo. You know, I pee blood.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, so was this worse than any of the challenges that you did?
No. It's just different. It's very, I mean, injuries wise, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I still pay.
So you sustained some injuries from this one.
other injuries that I have during ultra running or even running 100 miles, dealing with stress fractures, chin splint, losing toenails.
But you still, even no matter what happens, you still go at it, right?
Yeah.
There's no quitting.
Oh my gosh.
And it's all, it seems to be all mindset. Like, it's like no matter where you are in like life, and like if it's a cold shower, if it's fucking running at 100 miles through the swamps of the Everglades, or if it's, you know, like doing anything, fighting, it's all mindset. It's all against a battle against yourself and against your own mind.
Just calm down, step outside of yourself for a second, and also remember who you are. And I don't put a lot of stuff on my wall or anything. Like I said, it's in my drawer. Like my wife put everything in. We can't even open the drawer. It's like a 30-pound drawer. It's funny. But I have a few things that I keep on the wall. And I look at it once in a blue moon just to remind myself who I am, you know. And I have no shame to say it. I'm a fucking savage.
Yes, sir.
And I won't make any apologize for it. This is who I am. And sometimes I just think of that, like in a moment of squats or running, you know. I mean, trust me, when you just ran 50 miles and you realize you're only halfway there.
50 miles.
It's brutal to realize
that. You got to have there's got to be, even if you're like, you have your mindset, there's got to be a split second where you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I mean, roller coaster. You go through, it sucks, but it's also beautiful. Everything, all the emotion you go through.
How don't you go insane?
Oh, you do. You know,
you go past
trust me,
that.
you do. If people watch the video of the squats, and I mean,
we're gonna throw it up in the.
It would not be fun, but to watch at all. But there's part where I say things that it's pretty out there.
Yeah.
And something running 100 miles. Like we talk about, you know, put your excuse away. Work harder, right? Nobody cares. Work harder. And I always tell people, yes, of course, in order to reach a goal, whatever it is, we have to change our ways and put those excuses away and go at it, right? It doesn't matter what we want to do, build a house, a car, a job, an event, sports, whatever it is. But I always tell people, keep one. And that's one of my little secret. I'm a big believer in self-talk. Big believer. We think about 500 to 1,000 words a minute. So if for a minute I'm like, I'm not good enough. I suck. It sucks. I'm not going to make it. You're going to quit. Without even realizing you're going to quit.
Exactly.
And you just quit. You know? Keep one excuse. And the one I have is find an excuse to win. Find an excuse to keep moving forward. No matter what it is.
I love that.
Do one more squat for the guy who can't walk. It doesn't matter. Just
really
keep moving forward. Find an excuse to win.
That's the only excuse you should have.
That's the only one that matters.
Excuses except finding an excuse to win.
And those mental, I guess you could say those are like kind of mental workouts. Do you do anything else? Do you write down in notes? We talked about the manifestations online.
Journaling, anything
I don't
like
do that anymore. But it's funny, for the 100 miler, I did that. So I showed up alone, no crew, nothing. Everybody had their crew, their wife, husband. Everybody had good setups, and all I had was a folding chair, and I opened my trunk, and that was it. And I'm like, let's go. And it's funny because actually I'm going to get back to that afterward, because we can talk about that as well, failure. But for that, I wrote a few things on a piece of paper, and that meant a lot to me. And after mile 70 maybe, I mean, it was funny, like I talked earlier about tricking yourself, kind of lying to yourself. So when I reached mile 50, you know, I was hurt. I'm not going to say I was not hurt. I was
50 miles, you got to be fucking exhausted.
It was bad. So I'm like, okay, now take your one real first break. Take 15, 20 minutes, and it's okay, you know. And I'm like, I'm going to trick myself. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change my clothes. Here's a new me. Everything is pretty. Everything's going to be fine. Yeah, it didn't work that way. I couldn't get out of the car.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't get out of the fucking chair. I'm like, everything's hurt, so and it starts to stiff and cramp, and everything is bad.
Because once you're going that long and you stop, it's like we're done.
Oh yeah. And like, dude, you did enough. You're done. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk then. I'm just gonna get up and start.
Because there's no quitting there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk, and I did that. It's funny because again, find an excuse to win, and come the night. And yes, it's Florida and it's hot, but it was February, so that night was actually cold. I was freezing. So it was like, 49 degrees. You know, and one of those moments where, you know, everything is, I mean, you have the headlamp and you step on a snake or whatever it is, then you can't see squat. I think I saw 5 snakes that day.
Oh my!
I stepped on one, and how's your mindset change? I remember the last 2, and I'm not a snake guy at all, but I remember looking at the snake and just say, "Fuck you,
fuck you, snake.
I don't give a you stay here. I don't give a fuck. You bite me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm
just finishing this race.
I'm just gonna go. You're nothing to me.
Yeah,
your mindset went through so much. Everything went through so much in the past few hours.
Yeah,
that means nothing. And so I tried to trick myself, and so I have that piece of paper.
Yeah,
and now it's my 70 or 75, and I'm like, I gotta, I need something. So I grabbed that piece of paper and I decided to walk one loop. Yeah. Not even running, not even jogging. I'm going to walk the entire loop.
Yeah.
Keep moving. And I'm going to read that out loud the entire time. And that's what I did. Every little quote for me that meant a lot to me. I put it back in the car and I look at the guys who were at the aid station and they're like, "Are you okay?" I say, "You're going to have to get me the fuck out of here. I'm not going anywhere."
Yeah.
And I just went. And that was
it.
And it was on. Yeah.
And there was no stopping you.
That's it.
And it seems like there's
actually
never
when
been
I arrived at that race,
yeah.
I had tears because I'm like
hurting.
I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna pass.
Oh,
because you were not quitting.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I don't say it's I'm not telling people to think like that, but sometime in life, there's a few moments in your life, a few goals, and you have to pick where, in order to really succeed at that goal, you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
Really far and maybe not worry
further
too much what might happen.
Yeah.
Like just
do it.
Is what it is, and you might break a leg. Guess what? Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You might pass out. You're gonna wake up.
It's gonna end. That time's gonna end.
How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. How bad do you want it? And that came after a failure. Believe it or not, I was able to succeed because I fell. Before that, I failed Gorok selection, the hardest endurance event in the world, and I trained my butts off for that.
Really?
And I got my ass handed to me. I didn't quit, but it was you could either quit.
They broke you.
Yeah, you can say that. You either quit, you're gonna be medically dropped, or performance dropped. I was performance dropped.
Wow.
They basically on your rucksack you have a patch, and they put a mark on it when you don't perform the way they want you to perform.
Okay.
You're not crawling low enough. You're not running fast enough. You're not doing,
You're not quitting, but your body has shut down.
No, a little bit.
Wait, but that sounds like they're seeing you and they're going, okay, he needs to stop.
It's like in a fight when your corner kind of waves its out.
They're putting pressure on you to stop.
Yeah.
They don't want you to stop. Inside, they're actually rooting for you.
Yeah.
But there's a standard.
Yeah.
And you sign up for that standard, so it's not going to stop. And it's a non-stop beat down. I mean, imagine doing a CrossFit wood for 48 hours. That's pretty much what you're going to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. The first 24 hours, you have no food. It doesn't stop. So I fell at that event. I was mad, obviously, because nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to fail. But I didn't quit. I gave 110% of myself. And I was proud of that.
Yeah.
I could stand.
But it's that mindset. It's like it's a failure if you let it be, but instead you were like, you know what, today I didn't succeed at what I wanted to, but tomorrow I sure as hell will.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment I didn't think like that. I was mad, and I was still kind of out of it. I couldn't believe that just happened. And I mean, less than 2% of people finish that event. Usually they have what they call a black class, meaning nobody finished.
Wow.
And I'm 45 years old at the time, and most people who finish that are in early 30s.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they're, succeeded because they've done it 2 or 3 times before that.
Yeah.
And people who sign up for that, I respect that. And to me, there's nothing like that anywhere else in the world. I don't care what it is. Nothing compared to that event. So, I'm mad, but I grew from my failure and I learned so much about myself because I worked so hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, it's one thing, like people say, you know what, I didn't succeed at that, but at least I tried. Yeah, you didn't really work for it.
You didn't try as much.
I'm not talking about, I'm talking about you studying for 6 months and not passing the exam.
Yeah.
Now you're fucking mad.
Yeah.
You're pissed, right? So it's the same thing. I train 3 times a day. I mean, I used to get up at 4 a.m., go to work, do this, do that, not having any food, and now it's noon, and I'm going to run in the sun with my rucksack and my sandbags, and it's just a baby workout. And I got to
just to prepare.
Just to prepare. And so I failed the event, took a week off because I'm beat. I mean, I'm broke down everywhere. Everything hurts. And, a few weeks pass, I'm training again. I try to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to ultra running a little bit. And at that time, my only experience with ultra running was 50 Ks, which is 31 miles. And I did another Gorok event. It's called a Star Course. It's a 50 miler where you don't have to run, but you need to jog from time to time because your time, you're like, hey, you got to do that in 14 hours or you're out or whatever, you know? So I'm like, okay, we got to move. And mileage-wise, that was the only distance I had. And I'm like, there's an event at the end of February. So Gorok selection was in October. And I'm like, you can sign up by the hour. So you sign up for 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. So I'm like, so how does that work? So like most people do whatever, you know, they do 6, 12, they do what they can with the mileage. And say, I'm like, my goal is 100 miles. I want that buckle because when you get a 100 miler, you get a buckle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. So it means something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, so I'm like, I want to do the 100 miler. She's like, and they're like, well, you can pick whatever time you think you can take and you can stop if you have to, as long as you have your 100 miler for that works. I'm like, okay, but I know I'm not going to do it in 24. I'm not that good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm going to pick the 48 hour. And I succeeded at that race and I made it in 30 plus hours, knowing that I never ran more than 32 miles.
Oh my God.
And why did I make it? Because of failure of Gorok selection. And I became stronger and stronger and stronger.
Because you took one of your biggest failures and said, that's not defining who I am. I'm going to shut everyone up and just prove myself right here. And I'm going to do this.
It just opened so many doors.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm way much more than now. I can see where I can go.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, running 100 miles, I was like, I never heard of that before.
No.
I'm not.
I don't think many people have heard of that.
I'm like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So when I thought about it for the first time, it gave me this chill. I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. But I'm like, it's kind of impossible. And it's normal to think that because you're like, you know, what are you going to do? You never done that before.
But if your dreams don't scare you, like they're not big enough, right?
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's you have a 99% chance to succeed, 50% chance to succeed, 1% chance to succeed. You got to attack it. And that's how I am.
And you go 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at anything I do. I'm not the last either.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. But I'm not the best. I'm strong because of my mindset.
Yeah.
And whatever I do, anybody can judge me on anything. The one thing they can judge me into, I attack shit.
I think it's clear to see after this because we can have story after story of where adversity or whatever the hell it is, you're going 100%. And I think anyone listening to this, and ourselves included, can take so much out of the conversation we've had tonight. It's like insane.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to have that in myself.
Yeah.
I cannot lie to myself.
Yeah.
Like doing the squats, the world record, okay, right? And my best friend, who does ton of our endurance event with me, she told everybody, she's like, we're not going to tell him how many numbers, where he's at.
So you didn't even know the whole time? And you lose count. There's no way you're counting in your head.
I'm counting. Even sometimes I tell the person who's counting, I'm like, hey, for an hour, I'm going to do 22 on a minute.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you're all over the place. You do 25, you do 17. I'm like, hey, I kind of, because, you know, I'm counting and then I'm thinking of all this stuff and I lose count. And so I basically look at my watch and try to do squat for maybe 25 to 35 seconds and rest for maybe 20, 25 seconds and do it again. And she's like, we're not going to tell him where it's at. So because I know him, he's going to work harder.
Yeah.
And I was so scared because I didn't want to fail.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea where I'm at. The first 5-6 hours, and you know, obviously I'm in pain, everything's bad, and I'm puking. I mean, dry puking, and I pass out. My body grabbed me. I almost pass out.
Fuck.
I mean, I had a cramp in my hamstring. We thought actually I tore a muscle, tore it completely. I screamed so loud, I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, oh, that's not good.
But still, not
on a minute.
Yeah, not giving up.
On a minute.
Every minute.
19 it's the one
squats.
thing that I'm very proud of.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
I didn't stop for 2 minutes. I didn't stop for 3 minutes. I didn't stop. On every minute, on a minute, I went.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So I was so scared. And, you know, yes, at hour 7, I knew, I'm like, I must be there.
Yeah.
My goal was
Please let me be there.
Yeah, seriously.
My goal was 8,000.
Yeah.
And I knew by the count of approximately how many squats I was doing per minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, I must be there. So I'm like, no, And it's not to be mean in any way. You have to find an excuse to win, right?
Yeah.
To find an excuse to keep moving forward.
Never quit.
So my excuse was, now you're going to make it harder for the next guy.
I fucking love it.
Every rep matters. Yeah. And trust me, a world record is made to be broken.
Yeah.
I will cheer anybody who wants to beat the record. I want to be there. I want to cheer you on and be like, go for it, beat me. That's going to be awesome.
Because it'll challenge you to get right back at
it. I'm not the best at anything that I do, but I promise you to beat that, you're going to have to go through hell.
Yeah.
Man,
you're going to have through hell and through discomfort and pain and
definitely
to a place where you've never been before.
And I think, like I said, you've definitely shown at least your true colors, where you come from, and it's seriously awesome to have you on here to be able to share all these stories. And I think we can go all day with them.
Yeah,
I would love to. Before, I know you have something to say also, but we do have some viewer questions that I would love to jump into at some point if you want to pull them up, because my phone died.
Yep.
But I mean, I think we can definitely talk all day of stories and just like adversity that you battled, and then let alone all that stuff, just like what you go through and the lifestyle you live every day with that no quit attitude is just like insane to me. And it's a constant motivation for myself and like a reminder, like even if I'm not working out, what can I do can better myself day
actually,
in and
the t-shirt is from a friend of mine. Is a Navy SEAL, and one of the things that he likes to say is do more, do less, just do. Just do. Yeah. So not every day is going to be perfect, badass, workout and everything, but you can still do something right. So what can you do today to improve yourself? Just a step forward, and just a step forward.
Well, let's dive into some of these viewer questions.
This question right here is from Dr. Harley Bofshever. He's actually asking a question that I was thinking about asking. So this is a great question. Having already achieved so much, what is your motivation to continue at this pace?
Realizing that so far I didn't find my limits.
Okay.
And I'm still looking for it.
Limitless.
Yeah.
And to go off that really quick.
Yeah.
When is it enough for you? When is it like?
Never.
And like, does that mean that you don't like? Because like sometimes
do you find success right now? Like, do you find yourself? Because I'll ask everyone here. The one question I'll ask is like, how do you define success? So some people will define it as like
success for me would be defined by do whatever it is that you want to do, full heart. Don't lie to yourself. 100%. You might fail, you might succeed at it, but you just can look at yourself in a mirror and say, I was honest with myself and I did 100%.
I'm living the life I want to live.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes it might not be pretty. It might suck, and you might, listen, I do things where I suck at. Yeah. I make sure of that. I look stupid. And
in the beginning.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to change that.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So,
and then
we got another one on
got another one from Danny.
Ooh, the Danny.
Do you prefer a team event or to go it out alone?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I feel like boxing and Guruk and a lot of these challenges are by yourself, but then the service and everything.
Stuff that I've done are pretty selfish. It's alone, being a boxer, being bodybuilder and everything. I do enjoy the team as well, because in those Guruk events, you have to rely on the team. You're not going to succeed alone. You're just not.
And it's
not going to happen. Exactly.
You need someone in your corner.
When people say, I did it myself, all by myself, nobody helped me.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Somebody helped you.
Yeah.
No, nobody helped me. Yes, the guy who said that you were too fat to lose weight helped you to lose weight. The book that you read for 2 minutes, that quote that did something to you, helped you.
Yeah.
Somebody helped you.
You're not alone.
For a minute, for a year, as a coach, as an enemy, it helped you. You didn't do it yourself. So I do enjoy those team events as well, because it's just different. And in order to succeed, you have to succeed as a team. And you can see people rising from hell in those moments, because sometimes you face an evolution. I'm like, hey, I made it, but if you don't make it, we're going to do it again.
Yeah. You got to build up.
And it happens, and sometimes and nobody's mad at the other one. It's just, you beat, so you beat down physically, you're broken a little bit, and you got to do it again. Yeah. And it's beautiful how you rise from that, because sometimes they make you do that same evolution over and over, and you're like, they're going to say, you got to do that in 30 minutes, and you do it in, 34 minutes or 30 minutes.
Do it again.
And do it again, and, it's hour 17, and you're like, well, I'm not going to make it. I'm more tired.
Yeah.
And now you do it again.
Fine. Nobody cares.
And you do it in 24 minutes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like, see?
Yeah.
See, now here's who you are. And actually to answer Artist's question again from earlier. What I look at is it's almost a burden, like then you put on yourself.
Yeah.
You just set yourself. You just set yourself a standard.
Yeah.
By doing whatever it is. Like, let's say, hey, I did 5Ks, 10Ks, now I just ran a half marathon. But that's it. This is who I am now. I can't go back.
Yeah.
You know when people say, like, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but, well, I want to do that one time. And you do it and you succeed, right? Or maybe you fail, but let's say you succeed. Cool. I worked so hard for it. I did it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Because you didn't know. Yes, you had an idea what was going on, but you didn't really know because you didn't know about it because you never done it. You heard people talk about it, about
you want to indulge all the way and just
you just did it. So it was kind of, yes, it was hard, it was painful, that event was difficult, but it was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah, and again and again.
At least one time again.
Yeah.
Now that one time is going to be the real one time because, oh no, I don't really want to do that again. It kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was actually painful. I hurt myself and this. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Now do it again.
Yeah.
And there are things like if tomorrow we're going to climb Mount Everest, of course we're going to do that one time. But there's a few things like that. But outside of that, like I had a friend of mine, he did a Gorwick event. In the end, he was in good shape and he passed. And it was a 12-hour event. And he's like, okay, I did it and I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not done. This is a point.
This is just a start. Yeah.
This is a point. Now, if you just set a standard for yourself, don't go backward.
Yeah. I love that.
Just go forward.
That.
And now this is who you are.
Lesson tonight.
You're lying to yourself if you're not. Like when people say, why you do this? Why you go after this? I have no choice. It's not a choice.
Yeah.
I just thought of something and I listen to what my heart's telling me. And if I don't go after it, I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
I'm just, and that's what people do. They crawl under the rock and they're like, well, I wish I could do that. Like some people come to me and they're like, dude, I could never do this. And I understand. Like I'm not saying nobody has to run a 100 mile. Nobody has to do 9,000 squats or do this, that. But you have goals in your life. Don't tell me you can't do that. When I hear the can't, I'm just like, I'm like, don't set yourself for failure right away because I promise you don't have to do it. There's going to be a ton of people around you who's going to do that for you.
I love it.
And would that be like the one thing as we start to wrap this up that you would kind of like end on for people? Like if you had one thing to leave for someone who's starting to out there to like start their goals or anything, it was like, obviously it's that never quit mindset, but is there any like one last bit of information that
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go after anything. Anything. Even if it might look stupid at first, it might sound stupid for others, even if others didn't make it. If it's something that means something to you, and it's not because, I'm going to do it because it's cool, right? Yeah, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
It's something that might make no sense to me, but for you it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I'm so passionate about that. I really want to try that. I want to drive that Formula One. I want to, whatever it is, don't be afraid.
Just do it.
Don't be afraid.
We always talk about this.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Break down to the more, like, here's how I succeed. One of my tool that I use when I deal with those events that are so long, I break things down to the most simple things. If you think of 24 hours, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's like, I need to lose 60 pounds. Holy shit, 60 pounds is going to take forever.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. What do you have to do now?
Just be in the now.
Now you're going to take out that food. You're going to eat better. And now you're going to work out. And you lost 2 pounds. Good job.
Yeah.
You're on track. Yeah, but it's going to take forever. Wake up call to you. You're not losing 60 pounds. You're changing your entire fucking lifestyle.
Yes.
This is not a one-time thing. This is not a little thing.
That's a great point to bring up.
I just want to lose 20 pounds. No, I promise you, when you lose that 60 pounds or whatever, you're running that 100 miles, that guy that was before, girl, doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. This is a new you.
Yeah.
You just set a standard. And now this is the standard you have.
So live in the now and just get after it.
Take one step at a time.
Yeah, get after it. Don't make things like, especially for your goal. I'm not saying for everything else, but for whatever you're passionate about, don't wait tomorrow. Don't wait for the new year. Don't wait. Tomorrow is too late. Yeah. Tomorrow is not an option. Oh, I'm so tired. I need to take the day off. Is it really worth it to take the day off? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying you don't take a day off, but it needs to have a meaning to it. Definitely. Like I didn't sleep last night. I slept 3 hours. I woke out for 2.5 hours this morning. It's not an excuse. Yeah. Well, I didn't sleep when. nobody cares.
Yeah,
work exactly.
Harder. What is your goal? Like, that should not stop you. This is no big deal. Like, so life stop, you're not going to take care of your kids, you're not going to go to work because you didn't sleep, or that happened, now you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Same thing. So prioritize your shit.
Yeah.
And basically, that's exactly what it is. Oh, I don't have time, I don't have this. No.
Nobody cares. There's
you
no
didn't
excuse.
prioritize the right way.
Yeah.
I promise you have time. No, I really don't. Yes, you do. Because I know people who have 3 jobs, 2 kids, and they manage to work out. Yeah, it means they get up at 3:45.
Just find the way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Find a way.
Dude, it's been
an honor having you on. Wow. We might have to need a second episode.
Yeah, we might need a part 2.
You have a lot that we didn't even get to dive.
Seriously.
We have a lot more. Man, it's been an honor having you on.
So much, really has been.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, before we log out, do you want to shout out any? This is also gonna be audio, so you want to shout out any Instagrams or anywhere where that people can find you
for training and?
Just go on my Instagram, hitman.fit.
We'll link everything down.
Can you spell it just for the
HITMAN.fit.
Hitman.
Hitman. You know?
Okay.
Perfect.
And you can reach me from
and anything from personal training to just advice and
I mean, I receive. It's one of the things that actually it's one of the pleasure in life for me. I didn't have the chance to have any children, so I can't pass on to nobody.
Yeah.
So what I can pass on is to people.
Yeah.
And also that's a pleasure of mine to help people in.
So anyone looking for any knowledge or any help or anything.
If I can help in any way, of course.
And if anyone who's interested in any of these challenges or they think they want to start learning or trying to get into it, I encourage you to reach out to Jake here, and I'm sure he would be happy to take you under his wing and teach you some stuff. But seriously, Jake, it's been fucking an absolute honor. I hope everyone has taken out as much as I have from this episode today.
I hope that I can help some people.
And
make sure to like and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening.
And thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
See you guys later.
See you guys, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for having me.